Greetings, Rural Water. My name is Michael Preston, and I am here today for the inaugural Rural Water Unfiltered broadcast. We will be doing these video series monthly, and we are going to address the opportunities, challenges, and issues that impact rural America and the rural water industry. Here today with me, I've got two colleagues. Actually, I'd like to call them my superiors here in the Washington office, Bill Simpson and Keith Hurd. Although they are both originally from Mississippi, they are diametrically opposed on the political spectrum. They told me that they are going to play nice on camera. However, I assure you that is just for show. They both formerly worked on Capitol Hill as appropriators, and I thought having experts like these come to the table and kind of explain to you not only their backgrounds, but why the appropriations process matters to rural America would be an important first episode. So with that, Bill and Keith, could you kind of introduce yourselves and tell us a little bit about what's to come?
Okay, I'm Bill Simpson, and like Michael said, have some Hill experience. I worked for two former House members, Democrats, and then I got to work for three United States senators on the Senate Appropriations Committee, and I also worked at the Department of Agriculture, and which was the Farmers Home Administration, became Rural Development under the Clinton administration.
Well, I will say that, and I'm Keith Hurd, and I am a Republican, and Bill and I have some differences. We agree on a whole lot more things than you would think. But please don't tell anybody from Mississippi I said that. I am a Republican my whole life. I grew up in it. Came to Washington with Senator Thad Cochran in 1979. I worked in the Senate race in 78, his first race, one of the first staffers up here, involved in the appropriations process, politics, did his re-election in 84. And then I got involved in some national politics. I ran the South for Bob Dole in 1987-88. In 2014, I worked in Cochran's runoff campaign when he almost got beat. And then I went back and worked for him on Capitol Hill as his chief of staff. So,
I guess the first question I'd have, if I'm, a rural American owner-operator of a water system, and I'm kind of new to this whole legislative process, what is the appropriations process?
The appropriations process is the money. It's really simple for me. You can have all the policy and authorization language and farm bill, but if you don't have the money, you're not going to do much. So the appropriations process is actually in the Constitution. Congress shall appropriate money, and it's for all the purposes of the federal government.
I've read in the news, and you may have seen on the Water Pro online community blogs and policy advisory and things, and on social media accounts, that the president on Friday did sign an omnibus appropriations bill for fiscal year 2018. How did that come to be?
Through the very long process we talked about,
right,
starting in a year ago now. And we testified before Congress 5 times. We worked with the Hill, our state associations. That's what the great strength of this organization is we're representing all 50 states. We have state associations of people on the ground and mayors and water operators. They come up here, they tell their story, and the important part about that whole effort is a lot of our folks, take no recognition for their work. They don't do press, they don't do anything. They just put their head down and work. And so we have to tell the story to the members of Congress, and they really recognize the true value of that, the investment and the returns on that in rural America. So Congress not only embraced it, they enhanced it more than it's been done in eons of the outcome.
well, and how this omnibus came about is technically this budget, this appropriations should have happened on September 30th. But we hadn't done all the appropriations bill as in regular order, and years, and it's for various reasons, all political. You'll have the Republicans doing things that the Democrats don't like, and it gets put off, and vice versa. So they did a continuing resolution until November, and they like to put up these little deadlines so they can get something else, like the president can get the wall, or the Democrats can get something else, and have that deadline, and then it almost shuts down government. Then you have another continuing resolution. So we've done that all the way up until March the 23rd, when they finally passed it, and it's we need to get the appropriations process fixed.
Yeah, I think they had to put 5 different continuing resolutions on the books since September 30th of 2017. So it was a Herculean effort to finally get this FY 2018 bill signed into law. It's impressive. So how does it really impact small and rural communities in rural America, though? I mean, what are the funding priorities of rural water, and how does it benefit me as an owner-operator on the ground?
And how did we do it?
Yeah, and we came out very good.
Very good.
If you just look in the rural development water and waste programs, which Keith mentioned the president had eliminated, zeroed out, they got $560 million plus an additional $500 million on top of that for the loans and grants with maximum flexibility given to the assistant to the Secretary for Rural Development.
And that's for the backlog, right?
Yeah, to basically alleviate the backlog.
Right.
And that's a great success for our circuit rider program that was zero. We got 19 million, which is literally 1.5 million more than we even requested.
It was the circuit rider program was zero in the president's budget, but it wasn't zero the year before in 17, right?
No, it wasn't. And we got 2 million over what was last year. There was a recognition that the circuit riders, with their fine work, could even help deploy and administer this extra money that they put in around the country.
So Congress knows that this program is working, and
absolutely, it's the word circuit rider resonates in the hall of Congress. I mean, people say, what's a circuit rider? When you go around the country, not when you go up on Capitol Hill, they actually know and value what a circuit rider does. And then the other accounts with the source water protection, which ironically, or not ironically, was created by Senator Thad Cochran. That funding was restored, and our wastewater technicians, they doubled that account. Recognizing that they need some more help with deploying this new investment in rural America. But to get back why it's important to the rural communities, which is your original question, I apologize, is it provides loans and grants for an affordability issue for rural communities, small and remote, to be able to serve their people and to have affordable user rates. Of course, it's not the only game in town. You have the private sector and CoBank and other of our partners. But this is another tool in the toolbox for an opportunity for communities to look at to be able to finance these systems and make them affordable to meet the needs of their residents, especially low-income folks. So we were delighted with the outcome of that.
I think you bring that, makes me think, is one thing that Congress understands is the sustainability of the smaller systems are critical, and they're important, and they are sustainable. Everybody out there is doing your job, you're working forward, you're talking to other systems, and you circuit riders help bind it together, and there's other things going on. But I think this is verification of what the Congress and others think of how important this organization is and all the systems out across rural America. So,
well, I know since the inception of the rural water investment program at USDA, they've spent $55 billion on rural American infrastructure, and not only do they see the benefit in that, but they also see that they need rural American workers like circuit riders and technical assistance providers, the folks that work for your state association, actually carry out and maintain and upgrade and support those systems. And it's encouraging to see that Congress recognized that in this bill. Not only do they recognize
Not
it,
just in this bill, Congress has recognized it for a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we just have to keep up, and y'all have to keep doing the good jobs that you do, and we'll keep providing water and wastewater across this country.
Well, there you have it, everybody. The National Rural Water Association's Appropriations Priorities and the report from the D.C. office after this massive development last week is that the state of rural America and rural water is strong. We were successful, and we look forward to doing another round, another episode here of the Rural Water Unfiltered broadcast. In the meantime, feel free to check in on the Water Pro community. Check out the political policy advisories, the regulatory advisories, and the other blog posts. And if you have any other topics we'd like to discuss, feel free to send them our way.
And I do have a PS to all this. Senator Cochran is retiring. He's done a beautiful job for all of rural America in this country, domestically and internationally. And I took him the press release that National Rural Water put out, and all the kind things have been said about him, and he was thankful and appreciative, and he says it's been an honor serving everybody in the rural water area, and he's looking forward to retirement.
He's a true hero.
He is.
Well, thank you very much, gentlemen.
Thank
Until
you.
next time, enjoy a tall, unfiltered glass of conversation.
Yeah.
Thank you.